Let me begin right now. It seems as if we lived through today already. And I think we did. Now, God gave us a second chance to have the night again. Hello, everybody. It was a very exciting program because I ran through it with Kenny. And we really rehearsed. And it seems to me as we already did the whole thing. But we did a wonderful job. Tell me if I can begin. Welcome, everybody. There's so much today that Kenny and I decided we'd go through the whole thing first. And I'll begin. First, I'll tell you how this will be very different. Joni brought friends over from a place called Self-Help. And they triggered all of this. Self-Help is an organization that works with Holocaust survivors, and I'm one of them. And how did I get, when my mother was nearly 100 years old, she had problems getting in and out of cars. And I found out there's an organization called Self-Help, and they work with Holocaust survivors. And I called, and they sent a young woman over who taught my mother how to get in and out of the car with her severe arthritis. And we became friends, and one day I was walking, and a young woman on a bicycle pulls over and says, "Excuse me, are you Paula Kilman's daughter?" And I said, "Yes." "And who are you?" And she said, "I'm Julie Flashman. And I coached your mother on how to get in and out of cars." Well, a friendship began, a deep friendship, and I learned about self-help. I sort of compare them to my mother because my mother became a volunteer in the Long Beach Hospital and gave of herself. And that organization does exactly that. They figure what your needs will be and then get it. So, first of all, I want to say thank you to Self-Help. Second of all, let me tell you what else came out of that. Joni brought me two friends from Self-Help, and they were sitting in my house, and the mother, her daughter and a mother, and the mother, Gabrielle, asked me some questions about my paintings. And nobody had ever asked me exactly in that way. And it made me realize I've never explained how a painting is done. And she asked me specific questions, and I'm going to answer them right now. First of all, Kenny, could I see Grant Street?
Absolutely. And dear folks, I want to apologize. I did not put in the link. I just didn't think of it until minutes ago. So I'm so sorry for that. That's why you didn't find the link.
Kenny, I'm going to move
I'm going to hold
the
it for
light.
you, Mom. I'm going to hold it for you.
Could you move the light so that I can point to it?
The lights, yes.
The light.
I can. Can you hold it like this then?
Yeah, I'm holding.
You're holding.
Okay. What Gabby asked me was, how do you begin? How do you find the people to put into your paintings? How do you find the place? How do you go about it? And I thought to myself, what a fascinating question. Let me begin with this. This painting is Grant Street. I saw these two buildings being torn down. They housed the little museum. I went in, and they were about to demolish the building. And I wanted to paint it. And on the way home, Eric said, "Hetty, you're dying to paint it, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, but Eric, I can't. I'm too old now to carry all the equipment, to drive into Manhattan, to drive back again. I have to begin to work differently." And he looked at me and he said, "But you're dying to do it, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "But what if I help you and I do the driving to New York and the parking and the schlepping of all the equipment?" And I said, "Eric, you're in your late 90s. You can't do that either." And he said, "Let's try." And that is how the painting came to be. Okay? First of all, what Gabby said to me, when you decide on something, how do you find the people? Well, when I was 8 years old and Hitler came, and I knew my world was gone forever, I decided I would paint my world so that we would know it existed. And I love New York. And so I began. This was not the first painting. First I went to the Lower East Side, which is a home for immigrants, and I painted a whole series there. This was my venture into the rest of the world. Okay? What Gabby said was, where do you find the people? I have been drawing people since I was 8 years old, and I am now 95 and I'm still drawing. To answer Gabby's question, where do I find them?
Mom,
Kitty,
wait 1 second. I'm sorry.
Shall we show sketchbooks?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing enough sound coming out. Let me just do something to see if I can get more sound. Can you say something?
Me?
Yes, there you go.
Yes, okay. You can see it was a bright sunny day. And New York does have bright sunny days too. And I picked this angle because this building, this modern building, just did not fit in, and so I needed it because immigrants don't fit in either.
I see what happened.
You're having sound problems,
Yes,
right?
your microphone fell off. Yes, that's what's going on. And unfortunately, nobody's chat function is working. This will be better. So sorry, folks. 1 second.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Oh, that's not working. Okay. Can you speak, Mom? Yes, go ahead.
So that is how I find the people.
Work.
Kenny, could you reach me the sketches? I'll just show a few sketches.
Of course.
Kenny and I rehearsed the program so thoroughly.
And then I didn't put up the link, and then we dropped the microphone. Okay, folks, yes.
Okay. His name is Mo. And I was sketching in the park, and this man came up to me and he said, "Aren't you Joanne's mom?" And I said, yes, I am. Who are you? And he said, well, everybody calls me Mo. And we began to talk. And I drew him. Okay? Because Gabby says, where do you find the people? I have to hold the Kenny because I can't. Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
His name is James Hodge, and he was running for a Long Beach City Council job. And I drew him because he said, if you ever need help, if you need me to carry a canvas for you, just call. And I thought that was so wonderful. So he's in the painting. When I was painting the Lower East Side, there was a woman in the cafeteria who always said to everybody, you didn't finish the bread, take it home with you. Her name was Lucy. That's enough of faces.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I want to talk more about the painting.
Okay.
Oh, if you want to see more faces, there's some right here.
Maybe just
This is a lady in Long Beach who is wonderful. She's got this great hair also. But they're all real people. And I have so many sketches. This is Lee's sweetheart. Lee Winters is this wonderful guy who's on the boardwalk who introduces me to people. And they tell me their life stories.
one last one.
This is a woman I met on the street. I cannot draw everybody in the world, but I thought this would answer part of Gabby's question of where do you find the people. Mm-hmm. I have them, and I have sketchbooks filled with them. And all I have to do is to look at the drawing, and I remember every bit of them. Because the good thing that happened, I didn't change the world. There are still wars and unhappiness and cruelty and pestilence. But there's also the knowledge for future generations that people you can really like exist as well. Okay? Now, let me go on with the painting. Which means you gotta get up again, Kenny, my poor boy. First I began because I wanted this building. Then I knew I had to get this in. So, the funny thing is, once you begin painting, it works by itself. You step into a part of your brain which knows everything. How do you get to that point? It's because you never stopped. I live my work. All of you who love something very much become so good at it because you cannot wait until you can get back to it. If you don't have the kind of need and passion for something, you will not get good. If you want to earn money, you won't until you discover the passion of doing it. Because the passion makes you get up early in the morning and drive to New York or wherever. And if you speak to people who have done what you consider great, like Einstein, they never stopped learning. Okay? Now, let me tell you what I'll be doing in the future, okay? We wanted to celebrate Joni's birthday. Joni was 71 years old on the 31st of December. And we wanted to do something special. And Joni said to me, I have a friend who speaks of a German restaurant, and you know that Eric loved German food, so we so very often looked for German food. Do you want that? And I said, yes, I would love a veal cutlet, a Wiener Schnitzel. So we went to Oak Chalet in Belmore, and that's going to be my next career. Here's what happened. I have my four-wheeling wagon, and we tried to get it up 2 steps, and we couldn't. And Joni said, they're a restaurant, I'm sure they have a ramp. So we went around the corner, and there was the ramp leading right into this beautiful old chalet building. And we went in, and as we came up the ramp, somebody was sitting at a table right there, leaned over and lifted up my four-wheeler. What do you call it again in the current? Rollator.
Yeah.
Rollator. I call it my four-wheel carriage.
Yes.
And he lifted it up, and there were enough of us, we could have done it ourselves, but it was such a kind gesture of another patron of the restaurant. And we found out that's how that restaurant was. And I want to go back there over and over and over and do what I do in New York City. Find a spot and begin to draw. And the people come and say, would you put me in? Would you put me in? And that's what I'll be doing from now on in that restaurant. The food is beyond words. It's just perfect. And I already spoke to the waitress and said, when I do the picture, I'm not going to paint with paint because I can't. It's at 95, it's too much of an effort. But I can do pencil. So next week, I'm going to take my family there to celebrate. And I'm going to draw everybody who wants me to draw them. Not in one day, but day after day after day. And that's my new career. Because I want to show America as it is. What Eric had said to me before he passed away, about a year ago, he said, Hedy, let's do a painting that shows us who we really are. When the world would speak of our time, it'll speak of the Holocaust. It'll speak of war. It'll speak of slavery. It'll continue speaking of everything wrong we do. That somebody goes into a school with a rifle and shoots children and teachers. But that's not only who we are. I'm going to be drawing and painting the other side of who we are. I couldn't think of a better place than to begin in a restaurant,
A German
a
restaurant.
German restaurant, with the wonderful food and the friendly, friendly people. Any comments on anything?
I'm sure there are a lot of comments.
Would you read them, Kenny?
No, because we can't see them. We can't see them. But you know, let me grab my phone and maybe we can see it on there. Well, I don't think so.
Kenny knows how to escape the limits
Not
Of-
so well.
of the world.
Hey, dear folks, I'm going to try this to see if I can manage to see the comments. But I don't know if I can, or if I'm going to cause interference. Let us see. Oh, yes, this works. Okay, great, 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 great. Oh my gosh. Yes, I
Read.
can do this. Well, maybe not all of them. Yes, I can. Okay, so Tammy says better because we got the sound fixed. Amy Lauren says, Hetty, wondering if there's one well-known celebrity that sought you out in your career to share with you their admiration for your artwork. Was there one well-known celebrity?
There have been so many.
Candice Bergen?
Who?
Candice Bergen?
Yes, she's in the painting.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe that would be one.
she's gorgeous. But you forget that she's gorgeous because she's so real.
Marcia says, I love your drawings, Hetty. Lee says, Cheryl looks great, Hetty. Martha says, never stop learning. Lee says, she thanks you. Dory says, eating? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Dory. Martha, let us know. Martha says, what was the name of the restaurant? And Dory says, Oak Chalet is the name.
Yes.
In Belmore, yes. And Martha says the Rockefeller, mentioning that you also painted a Rockefeller.
Yes.
Yes. Those are the only comments I could see, folks, but I'm so happy that I'm able to see them. And share them.
You need to compliment Kenny. He's holding so many things in one hand and more things in another hand.
And Dory says her new career.
Yes,
Yes.
because I want to show who we are as a nation, and we all love to eat. And we're also sharing with the rest of the world. You know, when I read the newspaper, and every page at the beginning deals with horrible things, but I keep turning the pages until I find something which says how wonderful somebody did something.
What a metaphor that is.
It's
That you
usually
keep
high school kids. And that's important. Now, I want to ask Gabby from the beginning, am I doing what she wanted? Am I able to explain how I do a painting, how I find the people? Because the funny thing is, everything works. If a building is crooked, I tell people to close one eye, take a pencil or a pen, which is straight, hold it up like this, and see where that line hits. And then I say, wait a minute, that window is not in line with that line. I better shove it back a little. And you learn perspective. Nature has arranged it that all the answers lie within you. And if not, you can look it up.
Let me tell you that Tibor Spitz is watching.
Yes.
And let me also tell you that Dory explained what she meant by her new career and eating. She says eating is Hetty's lifelong career.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And Amy says, Hetty, you are so darn precious.
Let me tell you about the lifelong career of eating. My father came from a very poor family in Poland, and they had a little store, and his job was to go and collect the rent for the store by going to every relative and every friend and asking for a loan until next week. And when he went to the salesman one day, the salesman was just eating. And as my father described it, because my father is a writer, and he wrote it in his book, which he gave me. And he wrote, he ate enough soup with enough chicken in it to feed a whole family on a Shabbos night. And I knew at that moment that I would become a traveling salesman just like him from Vienna and eat like this every day of my life. And that's how I was born in Vienna. And love Vienna and love eating and love that chalet with German food.
And we're going to see some sketches from there soon, right?
Any more comments?
Let me see. No, I think...
I love comments. Okay. Kenny, what did this mean? When you went like this?
It means it's 7:31. It's time.
Time to stop. I love you all. And I see you next week. And maybe by then I'll have some sketches of the restaurant. I don't know if I can get there. Remember, I do not drive.
We're going to try.
In time for next week?
No promises, but we'll try.
You didn't answer.
Oh, I said no promises, but we will try.
You've got a deal.
Yes.
And
Yes.
next time I'm going to take a menu with me and read the food to you. Okay, let me say good night. Let me say I love all of you. And let us show our America as people who do not just go into schools with rifles and shoot the children and the teachers. If there are no more comments, let me say I love you all.